Hey everybody, we're at Turner Field in Atlanta, Payoff pitch baseball, and this is a game, I guess, to kind of honor the Super Bowl that's coming up Sunday between the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons. So I took the two baseball equivalents, the Boston Red Sox and the Atlanta Braves. And this is a replay of an actual game that occurred in Atlanta between these two teams on April the 25th of 2016. And we're playing, of course, at Turner Field. So let's meet the starting pitchers for both teams. For Atlanta, they're going to go with right-hander Julio Teheran. He was 7-10 with a 3.21 ERA. And for the Red Sox, it was Cy Young Award winner Rick Porcello, 22-4 with a 3.15 ERA. So let's meet the starting lineups for the Red Sox. Of course, remember there's no DH, so David Ortiz is going to be on the bench as a pinch hitter in this one. So let's look at the lineups for the Red Sox. Leading off in right field is Mookie Betts. Batting second at second base is Dustin Pedroia. Hitting third at shortstop is Xander Bogaerts. Batting cleanup playing first base, Travis Shaw. Batting fifth and playing at third base is Josh Rutledge. Batting sixth in left field, Brock Holt. Batting seventh in center field is Jackie Bradley. Batting eighth and catching is Christian Vasquez. And batting ninth is Rick Porcello. He will be using pitcher hitting card number 9. So he actually was a decent hitter apparently. So he's going to use pitcher hitting card number 9. We'll meet the Braves lineup in the bottom of the first. So we're ready to go here from Fulton County. I almost said Fulton County, didn't I? In fact, I think I did say Fulton County by accident. Turner Field, one of the last seasons of Turner Field. And it'll be, leading off will be Mookie Betts against Julio Teheran. We'll roll the 2d6s first for Teheran, see what he did. It's a 7. So 7 is in play. So we're going to be checking in play on Mookie Betts against the right-hander. That's a 1 through 39 for a hit. And that's a 50 because the black die is the 10s, the white die is the 1s, so that's a 50. So in play 50 is out of range. 50 is a ground ball to third. So Mookie Betts is out of there on a 5-3 ground out. One away for Dustin Pedroia. It's a 4. And again on Teheran, 4 is in play. So a second consecutive in play result. This one's a 1 through 39 will be a hit. And that's a 13, so that will do it. 13 is a base hit. So Dustin Pedroia, 1 out single. And that'll bring up the shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. That's a 7. And again, in play for the third time in a row. So Xander Bogaerts, 1 through 38 will be a hit. And it's a 92, so that's not going to work. 92 is a fly to left off of Bogaerts' card, so fly ball to left, 2 away. And that'll bring up Travis Shaw. And that's a 3. And for Teheran, that's tough. So he finally got one in the tough range. So Shaw needs a 59 through a 64 to get a hit. And he got a 32, which is a strikeout. So that's going to end the top of the first. No score, as nothing happens there for Boston. We start the bottom of the first, and we'll go through the Atlanta lineup. Leading off will be right fielder Nick Markakis. Batting second and playing shortstop, Daniel Castro. Batting third, playing third base, Adonis Garcia. Hitting cleanup is the catcher, A.J. Pierzynski. Hitting fifth in left field, Frenchie, Jeff Francoeur. Batting sixth and playing first base, Freddie Freeman. Batting seventh at second base, Jace Peterson. Hitting eighth and playing center field, Malix Smith. And batting ninth using also pitcher hitting card number 9 is Julio Teheran. And again, these are the exact lineups as played on April 25th. Not sure why Freddie Freeman was 6th in the lineup down so low, but that's just the way at the time Freddie Gonzalez decided to do it. I guess he was the manager back then. I think he was around back then. It might have been Snitker, I'm not sure. Don't keep up with Atlanta very closely, so couldn't tell you. All right, so Nick Markakis will get going here against Rick Porcello. And then to check on Porcello's an 8, which means he found his tough range. So that's a tough check for Markakis. And that's a 73. Tough 73 is not in range. 73 is a ground ball to second. So a ground ball to Pedroia for out number 1. And that'll bring up shortstop Daniel Castro. And that's a 6 against Porcello. Is also tough. So we got another tough check. And that's a 22. Tough 22 against a righty is a strikeout. So Porcello puts the whiff on Castro. Brings up Adonis Garcia. Adonis Garcia. And that's a 7. And that's in play on Porcello. So we got one in play. So Garcia needs a 1 through 33 to get a hit. It's a 44, so that didn't make it. 44 is a pop-up to Pedroia at second. And that's going to end the inning. So nothing doing for either team here in the first from Turner Field. After one complete, we are scoreless. And that'll bring up third baseman Josh Rutledge. He only had 49 at-bats all year, but he did start this game as they gave Hanley Ramirez the day off and moved Shaw from third base to first base. So they needed a third baseman, and all of a sudden, here's Josh Rutledge. All right, it's a 10. 10 is ballpark. Okay, so we're going to see whether or not this is in the wheelhouse or not. Now, Turner Field, for right-handed hitters, is not all that great, 1 to 34. So he needs a 1 to 34 in order to find the wheelhouse. It's a 63, so he's in play. All right, so he needs a 1 through 39 on this in play check. And he didn't get it. He got a 99. That's a fly to left. So Rutledge is out of there. One away for Brock Holt, Mr. Everything. You can see he played left field, right field, third base, second base, and shortstop. So he was Mr. Utility, to say the least. 8 for Tehran is tough. So Brock Holt's got to fight off a tough pitch. He has 37 to 48 is his range for a hit. It's a 72, so that's going to be a fly to center. And that's out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Jackie Bradley Jr. That's an 11, and that's in the wheelhouse. So Tehran put one in Bradley's wheelhouse. So anything 84 or less, he'll get a hit. But more importantly, a 55 or less, he'll hit a home run. And that's a 59. He just missed it. 59. 59. He just missed it. So 59 still is going to be a double. So it's a 2-out double for Bradley, but he just missed a home run. And that'll bring up Christian Vasquez. Now, the interesting thing is Vasquez, the number 8 hitter, they could walk him and get to Porcello. That's a strategy that's often used, but they're going to go and take their chances with Vasquez. It's a 6. 6 is patient, so he may walk anyway. Patient, we got a 1 through 43 to reach base. He doesn't, though. It's an 85, and that's a grounder to short. That's going to end the inning, and that will force Porcello to lead off the next inning. So bottom of the second we go, no score. And A.J. Pierzynski, the catcher, will lead off for Atlanta. That's an 8 off of Porcello, which is tough. So a tough result. And a 76, tough 76, well out of range. That's a fly ball to center. And there's one away for Frenchie, Jeff Francoeur. 5 of 5 against Porcello is in play. So Frenchie in play needs a 1 to 33 to get a hit. He does not. He gets an 81. And that's a fly to center. So he flies out to Jackie Bradley in center for out number 2. And that brings up Freddie Freeman. That's an 11. So we got a defensive check off of Porcello. So we'll see who the defensive check is on. That is a 56. So a defensive check on a 56 is an error check on the second baseman, Pedroia. So Pedroia, his error rating is a 4. So we go to Turner Field and look at error rating 4, and we see 1 to 44. So if it's a 1 to 44, he will have made an error. 45 or higher, he will make the play. So 1 to 44, and we've got an error. It's a 61. He made the play. Now we need to see what kind of a play it is. Is it a pop out? Is it a ground out? What have you? We'll roll 2d6s to determine that. It's a 7. So a 7 on a second baseman out chart is a ground ball. So it's a ground ball, 4-3, ground out. And if you don't want to get that technical, if you're just counting outs and not caring what kind of an out, you don't even have to go through that check. But it's 3 up, 3 down for Atlanta. And we go to the top of the third. And it'll be, got ahead of myself, Porcello, the batter. He's going to lead off. And he is off pitcher hitting card number 9. Pitcher hitting card number 9. First things first, let's check Tehran. It's a 9, which is tough. And I think that's going to be an automatic strikeout or close to it when it's on the pitcher card. So a tough check, 1 to 89 is a strikeout. A 90 to 91 will be a hit. So he's got to. The only way he's going to get a hit is to roll a 90 or a 91. That's a 19. So had the dice been reversed, he would have gotten a hit. But a 19 is a strikeout. So Porcello down on strikes, and we're back to the top of the order. And Mookie Betts. Betts an 11, and that is wheelhouse. So Tehran's put one in the wheelhouse again. He flirted with that against Bradley and gave up a double. Escaped the home run. Mookie Betts 1 to 39 will be a homer. It's a 9, so that's a 2-run shot, or solo shot, I should say. Mookie Betts found the wheelhouse to his liking and took advantage of it. Took Tehran deep. It is 1-0 Red Sox. Here's Pedroia. 10. 10 is ballpark. So we're going to see if this is in the wheelhouse or not. It's a 1 to 34 check for the wheelhouse. That's 23. So again, Tehran's put one in the wheelhouse. Pedroia, a 1 to 21 will be a homer. 56 or less will be a hit. It's an 80 though, so he missed it. He missed his pitch, and he hits a fly ball to center. So Pedroia just missed it. Ends up flying to center for 2 outs. And that'll bring up Xander Bogaerts. So Tehran needs to be careful about those wheelhouses. It's a 10. We're in the ballpark again. A 1 to 34 is a wheelhouse. It's a 55, though, so we're in play. So Bogaerts in play, a 1 to 38. And that's a 25. He got a base hit. So Xander Bogaerts, a 2-out single. 2-out single, and that brings up Travis Shaw. Tehran, an 8 is tough this time. 8 is tough. So Travis Shaw in the tough range. He needs a 59 through a 64 to get a hit. It's a 39, and a 39 is going to be a strikeout. So it's a strikeout to end the inning. But the Red Sox pick up a run on the home run by Mookie Betts. And after 2.5, it's Boston 1 and Atlanta nothing. Coming up for the Braves, bottom portion of the order, Jace Peterson to lead things off. Porcello, a 3 is tough. 3 roll was in the tough range, so tough for Peterson. He's going to have to get a 40 to 49 to survive here. It's a 72. That didn't happen. 72 is a ground ball to Pedroia at second. So that's a quick 4-3 ground out. 1 away for Malix Smith. And in this actual game, Boston won the real game 1-0 on a home run by Jackie Bradley. So let's see if that pitcher's duel holds true here. 5 is tough for, it's in play for Porcello. Tough is in play for Malix Smith. A 1 to 42, he'll get a hit. It's a 54, and that's going to be a ground ball to Pedroia again. Last 3 outs by Atlanta have been ground balls to Pedroia. And now we got the pitcher spot, Julio Tehran. And that's an 8, which is tough. So again, we know from last time, the tough check has to have a 90 to 91 to get a hit. It's a 77, and that's going to fall in the strikeout range, 1 to 89. So strikeout for Tehran to end the inning. And Porcello is rolling through 3 innings, and after 3 complete, it is 1-0. Favor of the Red Sox. Start at the top of the 4th is Josh Rutledge. Tehran, a 5 is tough. So Tehran trying to regroup after that home run in the previous inning. A tough check on a 21 is a strikeout. Strikeout. So Rutledge actually 1 to 96 would have been a strikeout. So pretty hard not to get that strikeout. Here's Brock Holt. It's a 10, and we're in the ballpark check again. And this time as a lefty batter, the wheelhouse result goes up a bit to 1-43. So a 1-43, and Tehran would have put another one in the wheelhouse, which he did. It's a 1, so we're in the wheelhouse. And for Brock Holt, a 1-27 will be a homer. It's a 35. It's not a homer, but it is a double. So Brock Holt with a 1-out double, as Tehran is flirting with that wheelhouse again. Here's Jackie Bradley. He doubled his first time up. It's a 3. This time Tehran went into the tough range. So he's bearing down, puts one in the tough range. Bradley needs a 51-57. Didn't get it. Oh, he got a 27, and that's a strikeout. So 2 down. And back to the number 8 hitter, Christian Vasquez. Again, they could walk him and pitch to Porcello, but they're going to take their chances. It's in play. So Vasquez in play needs a 1-32. And it's a 40, so he didn't get it. 40 is a ground ball back to the pitcher, Tehran. And the inning is over. So nothing doing for the Red Sox. They get the double, but nothing else. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. Still 1-0. And now Nick Markakis will lead off for the Braves. It's a 7, and that is in play against Porcello. 7 is in play. And it's a 53. In play, 53 is a ground ball to third. It's a ground ball to Rutledge. He makes the play. 1 away for Daniel Castro. Struck out his first time up. It's a 7, which is also in play. So he won't strike out here if it's in play, obviously, by definition. 1-28's a hit. And it's an 8, so he did get a base hit. That's a single for Castro. First Braves hit of the game. And that'll bring up Adonis Garcia. We got a 10. And a 10 is the ballpark check. And for a right-hander, the wheelhouse is 1-34. 1-34 would be a wheelhouse. It is. It's an 18, so we're in the wheelhouse, and Adonis Garcia needs a 34 or less to hit a home run. He didn't get that. He got a 60. And a 60 is a base hit. So a 60 is a base hit. And the previous result on the 2D6s were 5 and 5 because of the ballpark check. So to check base runner advancement, we go to the hit chart. And the hit chart on a hit that went to, let's see here, it was a single, and there's only 1 out. Let's see here, single. This is where it gets a little tricky because the hit didn't say where it went. But I think there's a hit locator somewhere on here. Hit location chart, here we go. All right, now we got it. Runner advancement, hit location chart. We're going to roll the 2D6s. We're going to roll them again, actually. Actually, we're going to roll, I'll take it back. We're going to roll 1D10 and see where the ball went. 1D10 and see where the ball went. No, I take that back. We're going to use this chart. And the lead die was a 5. So it says first base plus choice. Coach's choice chart key, and I don't even know where that is. So my default rule in that is you get 1 base. So right or wrong, that's what I'm going to call it. Castro is going to stop at second base. So this is the only downside to this game, is that the base running on hits, the runner advancements can be a little funky, and there's a couple different ways to play it, either advanced or regular, and sometimes they get a little bit merged together. But that's the way I'm going to play it, and we'll just call it like that. That's my own little house rule. Here's Przinsky. Przinsky, a 6 is tough on Porcello. So Przinsky's got to deal with a tough pitch. He needs a 30 to a 42 to reach, and it's a 63. And a 63 is a ground ball to second. And now we're going to look and see whether or not it's a double play. Well, the 2D6s were a 7, and the double play rating of Porcello is an 8. The double play rating on Przinsky is a 9. Therefore, it is a double play. So that is going to be I believe, a 4-6-3 double play. Pedroia to Bogarts to Shaw. And that's going to end the inning with nothing doing for the Braves. After 4 complete, it is still a 1-0 ball game. And Mookie Betts. Nope, I take it back. I got fooled again by not having a pitcher card in there. Rick Porcello, the leadoff batter. And it's an 8 off of Tehran, which is tough again. So again, we need that a 90 or a 91 to get a hit. It's a 40, so that's a strikeout. That is a strikeout. So there's one away. And now we're back to the top of the order. And Mookie Betts, who homered his last time up for the only run of the game so far, as Tehran kept putting it in the wheelhouse. This is in play, so he's in play. So 1 to 39 will do it. It's a 51, however, and that's a ground ball to third. So 2 up, 2 down here for the Red Sox in the top of the 5th. We'll bring up Dustin Pedroia, and that's an 8. And Tehran 8 is tough. So Pedroia has to deal with a 24 through 42 to get a hit. It's a 38. He did get that hit. 38 is a base hit for Pedroia. So a 2-out single puts Pedroia on for Xander Bogaerts. That's a 12, and that's a defensive check. So we'll see who the defensive check is going to be on for the Braves. It is a 56. A 56. And a 56 is an error check on the second baseman, Jace Peterson. And Jace Peterson is a error rating of 2, which is not as good, obviously, because now he can make an error if it's 1 to 60. He needs a 61 to 99 to make the play. So 1 through 60, and he will have committed an error. It's an 87, so he got a break there. Let's see what kind of an out it was. It's a 7. So an out to the second baseman on a 7 is a ground ball fielder's choice. So it's a fielder's choice ground out as Peterson flips to the shortstop, Castro, to retire Pedroia, sliding into second to end the inning. So nothing doing for the Red Sox in the top of the 5th. Go to the bottom of the 5th, still 1 to nothing. And that'll bring up Frenchie, Jeff Francoeur. Francoeur, a 7, and that's in play against Porcello. So in play, he needs a 1 to 33 to get a hit. It's a 53, and that means he grounds to third, handled over there by Rutledge. 1 away for Freddie Freeman. 6, and Porcello against Freeman put one in the tough range. So Freeman in the tough range needs a 58 through a 64. And he got an 88, and that's going to be a grounder to short, handled by Bogaerts. 2 up, 2 down for second baseman Jace Peterson. It's a 7, and against Porcello, a 7 is in play. So in play means he needs a 1 through 35. And he got a 92, which is a ground ball to short again. So Pedroia and Bogaerts and Rutledge, all the infielders are getting busy in this game. 3 up, 3 down for the Braves. We've completed 5, and it's still 1 to nothing. The fatigue rating for both pitchers is the 7th, so they've still got 2 good innings left in them, assuming they are effective. Here's Travis Shaw to lead off the 6th. It's an 8, and an 8 is tough against Tehran. So tough, he needs a 59 through a 64. And he got a 3, so he's going to strike out. Those real low numbers in the tough range are automatic strikeouts. Josh Rutledge, the third baseman. It's a 5, and a 5 is tough. So he found the tough range. He needs he's going to strike out 1 to 96. Anything else, he'll get a different kind of an out, but it's most likely a strikeout. And it is. So it is a strikeout number 2 of the inning. And that brings up Brock Holt. He doubled his last time up. It's 1 for 2. Another tough check here on the 8. So that's tough. Tough. And I dropped the dice. All right, tough for Holt. He needs a 37 through 48. Didn't get it. He got a 71, which is a fly to center. And the inning is over. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, still 1 to nothing. And this is still matching what the original game was 1 to nothing on a home run, just by a different player. It was by Bradley, not Betts. But staying true to form, here's Malik Smith, number 8 hitter. It's a 6, which is going to be tough against Porcello. So his tough check is 51 through 60 to get a hit. And he got it. No, he didn't 50. He just missed it. 50 is a strikeout. Thought he had it there, but it's a strikeout. And now the pitcher, Tehran, is up. And Porcello, a 7, is actually in play this time. So pitcher hitting card number 9 in play. He needs a 1 to 25 to get a hit. A 1 to 25 will be a hit. It's a 97, so that didn't do it. 97 is a fly to left for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down. Top of the order for Nick Markakis. And that's an 8, which is tough. Tough. Markakis, 38 to 49 is needed for a hit. You got a 71, which is a ground ball to Pedroia. And that's going to end the inning. So we completed 6 here at Turner Field. It's still Red Sox 1 and Braves nothing. And here is Jackie Bradley Jr. Jackie Bradley Jr. to lead things off. 1 for 2 with a double and a strikeout. It's a 3, and Tehran is tough. Tehran is in the tough range, which means Bradley needs a 51 to 57. He got a 29, which means he strikes out. So second strikeout of the night for Bradley. Brings up Christian Vasquez. And that's a 5, which is, again, tough under Tehran. A 5, tough, needs a 53 to 59. Got a 28, so that's another strikeout. And he could strike out the side because now Porcello is coming to the plate. That's a 9, so that is also tough. So most likely another strikeout. He would be a 90 and a 91 to get a hit. He didn't, it's an 8, so that's a strikeout. He struck out the side. Did Tehran, and he's still going strong through 7. And we're at 7th inning stretch time, and I'm going to stretch with him, but I'll stretch mentally, not physically, because the game's moving along pretty good. Only 27 minutes so far, so I want to keep it rolling. And Porcello will be facing Castro, Garcia, and Pierzynski. It's an 8, which is tough, so Porcello still motoring along with these tough pitches. He needs a 44 to 52 to get a hit. It's a 90, and that's going to be a ground ball to short, so it's a ground ball to Bogarts. So not only is Porcello mowing him down, he's doing so with the ground outs. He's forcing a lot of ground outs. Here's Garcia. That's an 11, and that's defense. So 11 is a defensive check. We'll see who that's going to be on. That's a 41, so the defensive check is an error check on the catcher. The only error check on the catcher there is a 41, and he found it. So we're going to check Vasquez for an error, and Vasquez has an error rating of 4. So an error rating of 4 means 1 to 44, he will make an error. Anything else, he will make the play. It's a 19, so he made an error. How about that? A 19, and he made an error. So let's go to our error check. We're going to roll 2 D6s and see if it's a 1-base error or a 2-base error. It's an 11, so that's a 1-base error. 1-base error. So it's an E2 as Garcia reaches on the Vasquez error. And now that'll bring up Pierzynski. Pierzynski, a 6. 6 on Porcello is tough. So tough for Pierzynski. He's going to need a 30 to 42. And that's a 5, so that's not going to cut it. That's a strikeout. 2 down for Frenchie, Jeff Francoeur. That's a 6. And again, as I knock his card over, again, Porcello, 6 is tough. So tough for Francoeur. He needs a 65 through a 69. Didn't get it. He got a 95, and that's a fly to left. And that's going to end the inning. So we completed 7 here at Turner Field. It's still 1-0 in favor of the Red Sox. And Tehran's still in there, and so is Porcello because they're pitching so well. They're not at their point of weakness, so they're going to keep going. Here is Mookie Betts. That's a 4, which is in play off of Tehran. So he needs a 1 to 39 in order to get a hit. And he got it. It's a 35. That's a leadoff single for Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts with a leadoff single. Let's see here. He's definitely a threat to steal. He had 26 stolen bases on the season. So let's see if he can get a jump. We're going to see if he can get a jump or not. The hold rating for Tehran is a 9. So he's a hold rating of 9, and his steal rating is a B. So we're going to check, or 4, I should say, for the jump check. A 9 and a 4. We need to cross-reference the hold rating of 9 with the stolen base rating of 4. So we've got a 9 and a 4, and we get to right here. 0 to 70 he will attempt. 71 to 99 he'll have to hold. So if the 2D10s are a 70 or less, he'll get the jump. It's an 81. He does not get the jump, so he cannot steal. All right, so that's that. Pedroia, though, has a chance to bunt. He's an A bunter, so they're going to have him bunt to try to get the runner up since he couldn't get the jump. They're going to get him to second base by hook or by crook, and that's going to be by the bunt chart. So if we look at the sacrifice bunt chart, an A bunter goes by these numbers on the 2D10s. So as long as he doesn't roll a 93 or higher, he'll be all right. It's a 50, and that falls well within the 7 to 92 range, so it is a bunt, sacrifice bunt. I forgot to roll 1d6 to see who fields it. It's a 2, so a 2 says that the catcher fields it, so Brzezinski got out there and got that sacrifice. It'll be a sacrifice hit 2 to 4. For out number 1, but Betts does move to second. So even though they couldn't get the jump to steal, they bunted him over. Now we've got runners in scoring position with 1 out for Xander Bogaerts. 1 for 3. It's a 7, and that's in play. So Bogaerts, a 1 through 38, and he'll get a base hit. It's a 65. 65 is a fly to right. So out number 2. And that'll bring up Travis Shaw. Travis Shaw. 6. And that's Patient off of Tehran. So Patient, 1 through 65, and Shaw will reach. It's a 22. That means he's going to walk. So a 2-out walk to Travis Shaw. Puts runners at first and second with 2 outs for Jeff Rutledge. And that's a 7. And 7 is in play off Tehran. 7 is in play. So Rutledge needs a 1 to 39. He didn't get it. He got a 69, and a 69 is a ground ball to second. And that's going to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's still a 1-0 ball game. And Freddie Freeman is stepping into the batter's box. The Braves do have their bullpen working. Tehran is scheduled to bat 4th this inning. So potentially a pinch hitter for him. So the Braves are going to use, or warm up, I should say. They're looking for a lefty because the Red Sox have a couple lefties to start out the top of the 9th. So they're looking for a lefty in their bullpen, and the only one I see is O'Flaherty. So they're gonna have double barrel action here. They're going to have Eric O'Flaherty and also Jason Grilli, their closer, in the event they might take a lead. So both of those are warming up in the bullpen for the Braves. Actually, Jim Johnson's their closer, but Jason Grilli is pretty much the same. They're kind of interchangeable. So they're loosening just in case. But right now it is Freddie Freeman stepping in against Porcello, who's looking awfully strong. It's a 9, so that's Patient. So Patient check. 1 to 83, and Freeman will reach. And he does with a 7. It's a walk, so a leadoff walk to Freddie Freeman. And now they'll bring up Jace Peterson. He is also an A bunter, so they're going to have him bunt. The same results from this chart, so he's going to bunt. That's a 40, so that is a sacrifice bunt, and we'll see who fielded it. It's a 5, so the 5 means it was fielded by the third baseman. So that's a 5-4 sacrifice hit by Peterson to put Freeman at second base with 1 out. And that'll bring up Mallex Smith. Mallex Smith And now the Red Sox bullpen is starting to loosen a little bit as we have a righty and a lefty. It is Koji Urahara warming up at the right-hander, and then we also have the left-hander Robbie Ross. So Robbie Ross, just dropped my phone here. Hold the phone. Gives new meaning to the expression hold the phone, doesn't it? Koji Urahara. So they're both in the bullpen in case they are needed. So Mallex Smith will lead off, or will come to bat with a runner at second. One out. Here's Porcello. It's a 6, and that is tough. So Mallex Smith is going to have to deal with a tough pitch. He needs a 51 to 60 to do so. It's a 90, so that's going to be a fly to left for out number 2. And now the pitcher spot is up, but we're going to get a pinch hitter for Tehran, obviously, as they need a base hit. And let's see who they're going to go to. They have a couple of different possibilities, but they're going to go to Kelly Johnson. So Kelly Johnson is going to pinch hit for Tehran here in the bottom of the 8th. Big at bat here of the game, pretty much, because he can tie the score with one swing of the bat. It's an 11, and that's a defensive check for Boston. And we'll see who the defensive check is going to be on. It is a 2. It is a 2, which means we have a range check. And the range check is on the pitcher, Porcello. When you roll a 2, that is a 1 through 3 is a range check on the pitcher. So, range check on Porcello, and Porcello is a range rating of F, which is not very good, obviously. Just by nature, you would think F is not very good. So, a 1 to 66, and we'll have a hit. 67 to 99, and he'll make the play. That's a 0-0. So a 0-0, I believe, and this is where I'm a little bit confused on the rule. I don't think you go to the unusual play chart when we're doing a range check like this. I believe it's just, although it does list 1, it doesn't say 0. So this is where I'm a little bit betwixt and between here. Let's see here. I think, to me, the range check overrules that, so I'm going to go ahead and re-roll because I don't know the exact ruling on that. Somebody can tighten me up on that. I would appreciate it. Somebody who's more efficient at payoff pitch than me. I'm just going to call it a no play and re-roll it. We're looking for a 1 to 66. And it's a 28, so he did make the error. And we have to go to the error results to see if it's a 1-base error or a 2-base error on the pitcher. So we're looking for the error result under pitcher, which is right here in the middle. He's lumped in with those guys. So right here, unless you roll a 2 or a 12 or a 4, anything else other than a 2, 12, or 4, and it's a 1-base error. It's an 11, so it's a 1-base error. So E1 is how Johnson will reach. Freeman will move to third. So now there's runners at the corners with 2 outs. And Nick Markakis, the batter. They're tempted to bring in the lefty to face Markakis, but kind of hard to take out Porcello, your Cy Young Award winner, when he's still got a shutout going. So they're going to go ahead and roll with it, literally. So here is Porcello. It's a 3, which is tough. So Porcello reached back with a tough pitch to try to get Markakis. 38 to 49, and he will do it. It's a 99, so he definitely didn't make the play there. It's a fly to left, and the inning is over. So a lot of stuff went on there, but nothing really happened. And we've played 8 complete, and we're still 1-0 ball game. And we've got the left-hander, Eric O'Flaherty, coming in for the Braves, as the Red Sox have some lefties coming up. So O'Flaherty is your relief pitcher here in the 9th for the Braves. And he'll be facing Holt, a lefty, Bradley, a lefty, and Vasquez, a righty. So 2 lefties and a righty. If he gets in trouble, Jason Grilli is in the bullpen throwing still. It's a 6, so O'Flaherty, a 6 is tough. So we got a tough Brock Holt, tough against a lefty. He can only get a hit with an 80. Everything else, he'll be out. 1-79 will be a strikeout. It's a 14, so that's a strikeout. Brock Holt is out. He only hit 103 against lefties, so that would have said to tell you how that would have went. Here's Bradley. Could have pinch hit for him, but with the lead, you want to play defense. Here's Bradley. It's an 8. And 8 for O'Flaherty. He found the tough category again. So Bradley against a lefty, tough. He needs a 62 to 67. And he got an 18, so that's also a strikeout. So O'Flaherty has come in and struck him out. First two batters he faces. That's the third strikeout for Bradley. He got the hat trick now. And that'll bring up Christian Vasquez. It's an 11, which is in play. So in play against a lefty for Vasquez, instead of 32 being his high mark, 42 is now his high mark. So Vasquez, a 1-42, he'll get a hit. And it's a 0-0, so that is going to be an unusual play. So, and I probably should have known the other one, but it's too late now to worry about it. So the bases are empty. The bases are empty, and we're going to roll 2 D6s and see what happens on this rare play, rare play chart, not unusual play, rare play. 10. Catcher hit by foul ball, check for injury. Well, we're not going to worry about injury right now because I'm not doing a season or anything. I'm just doing one game. So Pierzynski's still going to stay in there. He's going to tough it out. And we're going to re-roll everything. So here we go. It's a 10. And a 10 is patient for O'Flaherty. So patient, 1-77, he will have a hit. And that's a 62, so that will be a double. Christian Vasquez with a 2-out double. And now, do they pinch hit for Porcello, trying to get the extra run and then bring in their closer? I think they will. They do have their closer, Craig Kimbrell, loosing in the bullpen. So Big Papi would normally come in to hit, but they're facing the lefty pitcher. So I think they may go with Hanley Ramirez instead. So Hanley Ramirez is going to pinch hit. Hanley Ramirez is going to pinch hit for Porcello. And that'll be all for Porcello, but he pitched extremely well. They'll trust Kimbrell to close it down in the 9th. So right now, it is Hanley Ramirez center stage, as Hanley Ramirez will be facing O'Flaherty. And it does no good for the Braves to counter with Grilli, because then the Red Sox would counter with Big Papi. So they're going to just go with what they got and try it against Ramirez. O'Flaherty in 11 is in play. So Ramirez in play, a 1-41 will do it. It's a 62, so he couldn't do it. It's a fly to right, and the inning is over. So nothing doing for the Red Sox here in the 9th. We go to the bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Braves, and they'll have to do it against closer Craig Kimbrell. He is now in for the Red Sox. And Kimbrell will be facing Castro, Garcia, and Pierzynski, but I think we're going to have a pinch hitter for Castro. Castro's being called back, and we're going to have Ender Inciarte. Ender Inciarte is up to pinch hit. So Ender Inciarte is into pinch hit for Castro. And if they manage to tie the game and go extra innings, they'll worry about who the new shortstop is later. Right now, they're going to put Ender Inciarte in there against Kimbrell. Kimbrell an 8. 8 is tough. So Kimbrell put a tough one in on Inciarte. He needs a 31-44. And he got a 29. That didn't do it. That's a strikeout. So Inciarte down on strikes in his pinch hitting role. Brings up Adonis Garcia. That's a 5, and that's patient off of Kimbrell. So patient check is a 1-42 he'll reach. It's a 3, so it's a walk. Adonis Garcia draws a 1-out walk. And that'll bring up A.J. Pierzynski. That's a 6 off of Kimbrell, which is tough. So Pierzynski in the tough range needs a 30-42. And he got a 5, which is a strikeout. So Kimbrell smoked one by him. Last chance is Jeff Francoeur, Frenchie, in there against Kimbrel. It's a 10, and Kimbrel put another tough one in there. So it's up to Francoeur to try to fight it off. He needs a 65 to 69 to get a hit. He didn't. It's a 35. It's a strikeout, and the ball game is over. A 1-0 final with the only run being a home run, just as the actual game did on April 25th. You can look it up. But the home run came from Mookie Betts rather than Jackie Bradley. But pretty much everything else went right down the line. And we'll be right back with the totals. Okay, we'll go over the totals for the Red Sox. 1 run, 8 hits, and 2 errors. For the Braves, no runs, 2 hits, no errors. Winning pitcher was Rick Porcello. He went 8 innings, gave up 2 hits, didn't give up any runs, walked 1, struck out 4. Kimbrel pitched the 9th, got the save. He did give up a walk, but he struck out the side otherwise. Tough luck loser was Julio Teheran. He pitched 8 innings, gave up 7 hits and 1 run, walked 1, struck out 11, but made that 1 mistake pitch to Mookie Betts, and he made him pay. He put a couple in the wheelhouse, and Mookie Betts finally made him pay for it. O'Flaherty pitched the 9th, 1 inning pitch, gave up a hit, struck out 2 and nothing else. So pretty much it was the pitching of Rick Porcello and Mookie Betts' solo shot that took care of it. His solo home run in the 3rd was all she wrote. And in fact, I didn't realize that Atlanta had so few hits, but their only 2 hits came back-to-back in the 4th inning. Castro a single and Garcia a single, but nobody got past second base other than when there was Freeman here in the 8th. He walked, sacrificed to second, and then on the error by Porcello, it moved him up to third base, but that was it. So pretty much large and in charge was Rick Porcello as the Red Sox defeat the Braves in a reenactment of the April 25th actual game, which Boston won, incidentally, 1-0. So kind of interesting there. Don't know if this is an omen for the Super Bowl, whether that means that the Patriots are going to win this game coming up, but we'll wait.